are going to be making cuccidati. Italian. Cuccidati is a very traditional Italian cookie that's usually made around the holiday season. Now, it has a lot of ingredients. It's a fig, nut-filled cookie. It's delicious, though. The best part about this is a food processor is literally all you need to make the dough and the filling. Always start with making the dough. This is 2 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1/3 of a cup of sugar, just regular plain granulated sugar. You need 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 full teaspoon of baking powder leveled off. We are gonna zest in some lemon, and you're gonna want like a tablespoon's worth, so anywhere from 1 to 2 lemons. Now I have 1 stick of cold butter. You do want it cold, cubed up, that I'm gonna add to this. And then what I'm going to do is put the top of the food processor on, and I'm gonna pulse this for 10 to 20 seconds until that butter's kind of evenly distributed. This might kind of remind you almost like a pie crust, but you'll see where we're going. That looks good. In this cup here, I have 2 whole beaten eggs, and what I'm gonna add to the beaten eggs is 2 full teaspoons of vanilla extract. And then what we're going to do is I'm gonna kind of take this off where I can add things to it. I'm gonna have the food processor going while I slowly pour in this beaten egg and vanilla mixture until a ball of dough forms. Be patient if it doesn't form right away. It takes like a minute of it really blending well, and if you need to kind of shake this around and keep going, that's fine too. This is about how it should look. We're gonna push it together so it mends together, and we're gonna wrap this in plastic wrap, and you could put this into your fridge for up to 2 days, but a minimum of an hour. So this is a good make ahead. What's really great about this is a very forgiving dough. So even though it looked like super crumbly, you see how it's coming together like traditional cookie dough? Okay, my dough is in the fridge. You do not even need to wash this out. You literally could just set it aside, and now we're gonna do the filling. The first thing we're gonna do is prep some figs. These are just a package of sun-dried figs. Now the figs have like an end on them like this, and we wanna trim that off because it's not very pleasant to the palate and it's very hard. And then what we're going to do, making sure both, because there's 2 ends to a fig, so if the other end needs to be trimmed, do that. And then we're just gonna cut it in half. Look at that. And we're just gonna throw that right in the food processor. We need a cup's worth, so this is probably going to be 10 to 20 figs. It just depends on how big your figs are. Next, I have a few medjool dates. Now, if they are not pitted already, you're gonna wanna pit them, of course. There's kind of like a seed in the middle of them. I love these. They're just a great sweet treat. And I'm just gonna slice these down the middle. I purchased some that are already pitted, so I didn't have to worry about that. These are large dates, so I'm doing 6 of them. 1/2 cup of walnuts, just measuring out 1/4 cup of slivered almonds. You wanna make sure you're getting golden raisins. You need 1/4 to 1/2 cup of these as well. I have a jar of orange marmalade, and I'm gonna put a few, probably about 2 big spoonfuls, just about 1/4 to 1/2 cup. 2 teaspoons of some kind of spiced rum. You could also do brandy. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I have some allspice, and I'm gonna do 1/4 teaspoon. Allspice goes a long way. You thought that was the last ingredient. It's my bad, I forgot. We need 1 tablespoon of honey lastly, and that's it. What we're going to do is we're gonna be pulsing this together. It does not need to be some kind of smooth consistency. It's actually good for it to have some texture. As you go, you may need to scrape down the sides a couple times. It smells so good. I'm just gonna cover this with some foil and set it aside until I'm ready to assemble. All right, this has been in my refrigerator for like 2 hours now. I'm going to very well flour my surface and turn this out. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start turning this into a large rectangle. Now, some people will split the dough in 2 and make like 2 8x10 rectangles. I really don't want to complicate my life, so I'm just gonna start rolling it into a rectangular shape. I did put some flour on the top too, just to help with sticking while rolling it out. You're gonna notice it's very easy to break because of the type of dough that it is. You just need to use your fingers to push it back together to seal it. I changed my mind. I was making my life more complicated by trying to make one big rectangle. So what I did is I have a good rectangle shape. I've just kind of used my fingers to pinch apart like any parts that have kind of split just so it's in one good piece. And now we're going to fill and fold it. Now what I did is I have a bowl of water. I've wet my fingers and put about half of the mixture that I'm shaping into kind of a log on the end. Just because it's such a sticky mixture that if you wet your fingers first, it won't stick, which is really nice. And I'm gonna get it as close to the edge as I can. Now, after I had rolled this out too, I did use a knife to make very clean cuts. I would say that's good. So it's about 1/3 long lengthwise when it comes to how wide I have the filling. Now all we need to do is roll it. And this is why your surface needs to be like super well floured. And if the dough breaks, no biggie, we can fix it with our fingers. So don't freak out if that happens. And we're just gonna roll it this way once. And then I'm going to take this end and fold it in towards the cookie and try and pinch it closed. Then what I did is I rolled it seam side back towards me, and I'm just kind of using my hands to stretch it slightly to make more of a log shape. Okay, I'm gonna trim the ends off just so there's no unevenness. Now we're just gonna start with a cut directly in the middle, then in the middle of the two middles, then one more time in the middle of those two middles, just so you have an even cookie. Repeating all the same steps with the second half of dough. We are gonna bake these for 15 to 20 minutes or until they're lightly golden brown. If you have the convection bake option on your oven, use that. If you do not, you're gonna bake them for about 8 minutes, turn the pan around, and bake them another 8-ish minutes. Now that my cookies are cooling on a cooling rack, I'm gonna make a quick lemon glaze that we are going to dip them in. So I just put some powdered sugar in a bowl. I'm gonna put just a teeny splash of milk, and then I'm gonna put lemon juice enough to get this to the right consistency. And you're gonna want a fork to really mix this well to get it to the right texture. All I did was put some parchment paper under my cooling rack, and I'm taking the top of each cookie and dipping it in the lemon glaze and then just putting it right back on top of the cooling rack. Lastly, you need some of these kinds of sprinkles. Are they nonpareils? Pirellis? I don't even know what these are pronounced, but this is very traditional to put on top. Look at how fun and festive these are. Oh my gosh, amazing. Definitely one for the books.